Hey guys, good, the bad, than usual. I'm going to do a little episode for you. I know it's been a long time, and this one's going to be based off of my, contest or giveaway that I got going on. And if you don't know about it, please watch the video I just uploaded before this one, giving away an autographed DVD sent to me from Korea. Very cool item. Anyway, this one is going to be a military-based thing. I've been asked to do it several times, actually, or to go through my favorite military films. Again, this is a long time ago because I hardly talk to anyone on here anymore, but I would really like to get more into it, and I'm going to try to, but no promises. Anyway, I've been asked to do this before. This is a small attempt at that. I'm still just going to do a good, a bad, and an unusual. Alright, my good is going to be two films that were released on the Criterion label. They were released back-to-back. They were both directed by Ichikawa, who is a Japanese filmmaker, most active in the 70s and 80s. Anyway, the first one is the Burmese Harp, and the second one is Fires on the Plain. These were both made in the 50s. Yep, had to double check, make sure I'm not putting out false information. Anyway, they're both made in the 50s, shortly after World War II is complete. They are about World War II. However, they are shot in the perspective, and they are about Japanese units in World War II. So it's actually really weird to go through and watch a movie about World War II, but focused only on the Japanese, who, at least here in America, we're taught was, they're the bad guys in World War II, them and the Germans. So to see a movie from their perspective is really weird, and it's very much so by their perspective. The whole death before surrender is a huge issue in one of the films, and then in the other one, it's about a guy who ends up deserting his unit and becoming a monk in Burma. So, yeah, one's about Burma, small unit tactics and the conflict in Burma, and then the other one is about one of the northern islands of the Philippines and how hard it was for the Japanese to take them, and how once they finished conquering the Philippines, America stepped in, and then basically it gets pretty gritty. Very gory for films from the 50s too. I was actually really shocked by that. So those are excellent films, and I highly recommend them to anyone, even if you're not into military films. It's something different to see the Japanese side of World War II. Anyway, on to the bad, and the bad is very bad. This might be, and I would never just throw this trophy out there, but this could probably be the worst movie ever made. Now, not in the type where it has entertainment value, per se, like Troll 2, for instance. A lot of people say that's the worst movie ever made. Planet 9 from Outer Space, stuff like that. Those are entertaining and good. This has zero entertainment value and is terrible. So it's not quite as good, but it might be the worst thing ever made. It's called When Soldiers Cry, and it has one review on Amazon, and I actually scoped it out before I picked it up because I saw this at a used DVD store. The cover really stands out to me. That is an excellent picture. However, this is not from the movie. This is just a photograph someone took. Anyway, I saw the cover. I looked at it. The label was Cinema Epic, and I was like, oh, that's a great label. Awesome cover art. Let me scope it out on Amazon. Looked it up. One review. The review is actually from the director himself, and you can only tell because his last name is in the user name for who's reviewing it. So I read it, and then it said, this is an awesome film, whatever, it really draws you in, probably the best Vietnam film since Apocalypse Now, and I was like, wow, this is going to be awesome. I put it in, about 15 minutes in, I realized, whoa, something's not right here. Anyway, it was probably shot on one hand camera using the microphone that's built into that hand camera. It resembles more of like Georgia wilderness than Vietnam or jungle environment at all. There's no plot or story. It's basically about one guy who walks around in the woods with an M16, which I believe is a rubber ducky. I could never actually tell, but I think it was just one of the rubber rifles that soldiers use for training purposes. It's terrible. He uses equipment that wasn't even made until after Vietnam, which, as I'm watching, I know when that stuff was made, but maybe he fooled other people. I don't know if anyone else ever even watched this movie. Anyway, I'm like watching it, and I was like just blown away at how terrible that really was. So that's my bad. When Soldiers Cry. Avoid it at all costs. It's not even good for a laugh. It's just that bad. And last, and unusual. Now, there's not very many steelbooks, like the Blu-ray book editions, collector sets, anything cool for war films, because that's not really something that a lot of collectors shoot for. However, this was kind of a, it's not rare at all. It's not really an unusual find, but it's just, as far as what it has, it's probably one of the best releases for a war film, and it is for Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down is a film by Richard Stanley. No, correction, not Richard Stanley. Ridley Scott. Two totally different people. Anyway, it's by Ridley Scott, who did like Alien and Blade Runner. You should know who he is. Anyway, it's about a conflict in Somalia. Great film, great story, based off of a true story. This has 3 different cuts of the film, which is why I got it. It has the theatrical cut, the director's cut, and an extended cut. I prefer the extended just because it has more to offer. But what is even more interesting about this release is that it has multiple documentaries made about the actual events that happened in Somalia. Now, I almost found this better than watching the movie. I got to the documentaries, and I watched all 3 of them in a row without stopping. And they're not, like, shitty documentaries at all. They're actually ones that aired by notable, like, PBS did one. I think one was done by 60 Minutes. Just very accurate, hard factual information about what actually happened. And that's what made this more of an unusual release, is that you don't see that too often with films about military conflict. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. That's my good, my bad, and my unusual. Again, I just uploaded a video. I'm giving away an autographed DVD. All I want you to do is show me a film about a conflict or about, a military movement, anything to do with that, and you're entered into the contest. Just want to have fun with it, guys. Again, Happy New Year's, and my next one will be getting back to the normal stuff, the actual good, bad, and unusual films. Alright, guys, you have a good one.